As President Biden stumbles and Democrats look for an alternative, the liberal media is hard at work trying to rehab the image of Kamala Harris. The New York Times essay blaming Joe Biden for the troubles of his vice president with the headline, Kamala Harris is stuck, and adding, quote, she is hampered by Mr. Biden's unpopularity, to be sure, but she has also not become the successful public face on any major issue. That Ms. Harris has been stuck in a political role is troubling for anyone concerned about the stability and continuity of the executive branch. But reality check, Kamala Harris has only herself to blame for how the public perceives her. Check out this awkward moment.
So when I think about what we need to do to address mayor, what ultimately does so often fall on the shoulders of our mayors to address on a community level.
Jesse, I can't imagine why she would be unpopular or hasn't had an achievement that's been handed to her by the vice president.
I'm going to take an artificial stance because I want to blame Joe a little bit.
Okay.
Joe should be grooming Kamala. Not in the perverted way. I see your face, Gutfeld. I'm talking about the way maybe Eisenhower groomed Nixon, delegated a lot of major stuff.
A mentor.
Right. So Eisenhower had a heart attack during his presidency. Joe Biden's 80. Kamala needs to be able to step in and make major decisions. When, was it Truman came into office, I think his first month, he had to decide whether to drop the A-bomb on Japan, whether to do the Berlin airlift. He had major decisions, and I don't think Kamala could come in and do anything. So she's supposed to have lunch with Joe Biden. They don't even have lunch anymore. She's supposed to be having lunch with the Secretary of State. That's been a standing thing for many, many presidencies, and what's his face over at States iced her out. So Joe has only given her things that he didn't want to deal with that weren't going anywhere, like voting rights and the border. He hasn't given her any position where she can shape policy. He only picked her because she was a female of color, and then once he got elected, he just kicked her to the curb. So he should be grooming her to be the heir apparent, and he's failed to do so. How was that as an artificial stance?
That was pretty good.
Was that good?
That was pretty good.
I thought that was pretty
good. You
good.
didn't believe any of it, did you?
So, Jessica, I mean, it is true that vice presidents typically get portfolios that are harder politically so that the president can be more popular, but that's not working for Joe Biden. So is it unfair, or has she just not risen to the occasion?
I think it's a combination of all of it. And Joe Biden also has personal experience with getting a crappy portfolio because it's a thankless job being VP, right? You're there for whatever you can bring to the ticket. That was the same thing. Barack Obama famously didn't want Joe Biden to be his VP. And David Plouffe and Axelrod said, this is the right person if you want to win. And they ended up BFFs by the end of it, and they have the bracelets.
Are they still BFFs? I don't know.
I think it's a separate conversation. I still think that they love each other. But, he did happen to pick someone who dropped out before Iowa.
Yeah.
Right? This wasn't someone who, made it to the end or had a distinct cohort of support that was very widespread. It was very targeted and specific. And I don't think that there's any fault or shame in making sure that you have a certain kind of voter. I mean, Donald Trump picked Mike Pence for a specific reason. What do I have a problem with? White evangelicals. What does Mike Pence solve for me? White evangelicals. But she needs to get on board with, this is a thankless job. I need to make it my own and add, some flair and pizzazz to it and have a better reputation. And he needs to make sure that he's supporting her as much as possible. But I actually think that he does a good job of doing that.
So, Judge, we're a year and a half in. When do you think she's going to start? As long as she still has a staff, because everyone keeps leaving.
Yeah.
It's one after another, after another, after another, after another. How many have left? 13? It's something crazy number. Look. Americans are forgiving and Americans are very understanding. It's almost as though we could look back on the last year and a half and say, okay, maybe it's Joe's fault. I don't think it's Joe's fault, folks. It's not Joe's fault. She is who she is. But I don't blame Joe. I don't blame the fact that she's in a position of vice president and therefore gets the tough jobs. That's nonsense. You are a vibrant woman at the prime of your life. You are vice president of the United States. You've got the energy, you've got the stamina, you're quick. You're sharp. You've run for office before. You should be out there every day doing something. I don't care if it gave you the border to deal with. You should be out there getting women together, getting business people together, baby formula, whatever it is. You get out there and you be heard. You're not controlled by Joe Biden. He doesn't tell you what to do. You can do what you want to do. So don't give me this garbage that, oh, Joe Biden isn't giving her a chance. She's lazy and she's not interested. That's why she's a failure.
So, Greg, she has been successful at one thing.
What?
Getting on your show.
That's right. She's we find out that she's quite irresistible if you supply bongos when she talks, because she's like a beat poet. I think Joe knows that Kamala is the best decision he ever made because no one wants him to go anywhere. I pray for his health every single day because then it's her. The golden rule of being president, the VP should be half as competent as you. And Joe's already incompetent, so that makes her zero competence. This is why Harris will never be president, because she won't be able to find anybody worse than her to be VP. Every candidate is going to outshine her. So unless they if she picks a box of wet wipes, if we decide that we can have an inanimate object as a VP, then she could run. But it goes back to the original point. There isn't a single problem that she's been able to solve, whether it's crime, inflation, fentanyl, which we're discussing in the next block or the block after that. Instead, they put all their eggs in that January 6th political basket. But that theater did not put food on the tables. It didn't catch any criminals. It didn't have any effect on inflation. And people saw through that. So they're kind of in a bind, so to speak.
Jessica and I would argue that wet wipes are pretty useful, Greg.
They are. But don't flush them down the toilet.
That we will.
Yes.
It's really annoying that you can't.
Yeah, I know. It drives me crazy. Yeah. I did it for years before realizing.
They're bad for the environment,
They're very bad for the
She
environment.
didn't have a kid.
What?
Okay.
What?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.